Going out can really change you. Even if you temporarily have nothing to do, you should still go out more. If you pay close attention, you'll notice that people whose condition keeps improving are rarely the ones who stay cooped up at home all day, while those who spend long periods locked in their rooms tend to become more anxious and more depressed until they don't even know why they ended up that way. This isn't a coincidence. It's the most direct result of the interaction between a person and their environment. Many people think staying at home is resting, that they're conserving energy, but the truth is precisely the opposite. When you lock yourself in one space for a long time, you are actually depleting yourself. You think you're recuperating, you think you're restoring your spirit, but in reality your brain is slowly becoming dull, your mood is quietly sinking, and your thinking is becoming narrower bit by bit. Every day you face the same walls, the same ceiling, the same information stream. No new stimuli come in, no unexpected collisions happen, and you become like a stagnant pool, calm on the surface, but slowly rotting underneath. I've seen too many examples of this. After someone loses their job, they lock themselves at home and scroll job apps every day. The more they scroll, the more anxious they become. The more anxious they're, the less they want to go out, and eventually even going downstairs to buy groceries feels exhausting. Someone quits their job to rest for a while, but that rest stretches into half a year. What began as relaxation turns into numbness, and sporadic outings become complete withdrawal. So people seem to have their energy and spirit stolen. It's not that they don't want to change, they're trapped in an invisible cycle and can't get out. But the magical thing is, those who do get out usually start with a very small action. Someone forces themselves to spend 2 hours a day in the library, not to study, but just to be in a different place. Someone makes themselves attend an in-person event once a week, not to learn, but just to hear different voices. Someone sets a rule to go out once a day, even if it's only to walk around the park, buy a bottle of water at the supermarket, or sit in a cafe and stare off into space for a while. Just that tiny change slowly pulls them out of the closed loop. This isn't mystical, it has a scientific basis. The human brain has a trait called environmental dependency. If you stay in the same space for a long time, your brain goes into autopilot, repeating the same thoughts and producing the same emotions. If you're anxious in that room and wake up in the same room the next day, your anxiety won't disappear, it will deepen. But as soon as you change environments, your brain is activated. New scenes, new stimuli, and new information break your habitual thinking patterns and let you see things you couldn't see before. That's why many people suddenly figure things out while traveling. It's not that travel has some magic. It's that leaving that particular space drags your brain out of its deadlock and lets it accept new signals and form new connections. Those problems that have troubled you for a long time might find answers around some unfamiliar street corner. More importantly, going out essentially increases your opportunity density. What is opportunity density? The more people and things you come into contact with, the more opportunities you can seize. When you stay at home, what are your information sources? Algorithmically pushed content, the few apps you already know, the same information stream you've scrolled hundreds of times. Those things won't bring new possibilities. They only make you spin within your own cognition. But when you step outside, everything changes. You might overhear someone at the next table in a cafe talking about an industry you've never heard of, randomly open a book in a bookstore that changes the way you think, or meet someone while walking in the park who give you a fresh idea. These aren't things you planned, but it's precisely these coincidences that form the truly important turning points in your life. Opportunities that change your fate never come knocking at your door. They only appear on the road you walk out onto. I know a friend who creates content. For a while he had no inspiration and sat at his computer unable to write anything. He tried many methods, studying other people's hits, analyzing algorithms and data. None of it helped. Eventually he just stopped writing. He went out every day, window shopping, watching people haggle at the market, listening to elderly people chat in the park, zoning out in a corner shop. After wandering like that for a month, his inspiration came back. It was more vivid than before. He said those real-life scenes and those everyday conversations with a hint of human warmth carry more power than any data. I have another friend in e-commerce whose business hit a bottleneck. He spent 2 months at home researching product selection strategies and grew more confused the more he studied. Then he went to a wholesale market. He chatted with a stall owner, listened as they talked about what sold well, what nobody wanted, and which categories were being overlooked. From that single trip, he discovered a niche the e-commerce platforms ignored, and that discovery multiplied his revenue several times this year. See, change doesn't require earth-shattering decisions. Sometimes it just means stepping out the door and into the real world. Of course, I know going out is difficult for many people. You have to wash your face, change clothes, decide where to go, face unfamiliar environments, interact with potential strangers. Lying in bed and scrolling your phone has no resistance at all. Human instinct chooses the path of least resistance. So many people would rather spend a whole day anxious in their room than go downstairs for a walk. But you must understand that the path of least resistance leads not to comfort, but to stagnation. People who truly grow do one thing. They don't create resistance for themselves. They set rules. They must go out once every day. They arrange to meet people no matter how busy. They attend events, even if it's just to listen. They put themselves into situations that require action, communication, and facing uncertainty. They know the comfort zone is the most dangerous place. Stay too long, and you may never get out. So if you're currently in a state of not wanting to go out, not wanting to see people, not wanting to move, don't wait until you feel better to act, because if you don't act, your state will never improve. What you need isn't stronger willpower. You just need to take the first step. Even just going downstairs for a walk, buying a bottle of water at the convenience store, or changing the place where you scroll your phone is 100 times better than staying where you are. Starting today, set a rule for yourself. Go out at least once a day. You don't need to go far or do anything big. Just step outside, change your surroundings, breathe different air, see a different view. You'll find that the moment you walk out, your life has already begun to change. The things that trapped you will begin to loosen as soon as you leave home. The changes you've thought about for a long time, but couldn't make will quietly occur as you step out again and again. Your opportunities aren't in your phone, they're outside. Your change isn't an imagination, it's an action. Don't let your room become the ceiling of your life. Going out is the first step to breaking that ceiling. So, did you go out today?